Well, hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. Alrighty, you see I threw in some scratch and I mixed in a little bit of a crushed oyster shell for some extra calcium. And they attacked, it was all in the same scoop, but the crushed oyster shell, they're not eating much of it. They've attacked the scratch feed. So, did the same thing for all 3 pens. This little gray hen put herself in there with the barnyard mix, so but I threw some scratch and crushed oyster shell in there for them, and then I did a little bit more crushed oyster shell for the Rhode Island red flock, hoping that'll help them be able to make more eggshell and produce more eggs. So we'll go down here and show y'all. There, it's all mixed in a little bit better over here, but they go after the wheat and the crushed or crumbled corn more than they do the crushed eggshell, but they will eat that eggshell if they know they need it. So hopefully that'll work. And there's a Rhode Island red in the nesting box in there. She's probably trying to lay because she's definitely not sitting. That's all right though. I've got those 9 eggs in the incubator that were fertile. So let me go show y'all what else we got done this weekend. So I did show y'all on the last video where we put down a little bit more weed mat, and I weed eated and covered up some holes that was in the original weed mat, and just tried to clean it up a little bit. I need some more stakes. I did make some, but like here it's not a problem. It's overlapped about a foot, but they're all doing really well. I did pick the bigger zucchini that's been, could have picked it a couple days ago, but I was waiting on the end. It was rather big. I couldn't wrap my hand around it. It was like that, but it got small on the end, and I was waiting on it to finish filling out. But my grandson told me this morning, "Papa, you need to pick that." So I went ahead and picked it. But y'all look at the squash. Let me come down here. Look at that. There's 3 things of squash right there on that one plant. There's 4 on this one, 5 actually. And then there's a few over on the other ones. There's a couple on that one back there. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4 on this one, plus a bunch more pods that haven't even turned into a squash plant yet. So, and there's quite a few more zucchinis as well. They're just not big enough to pick yet. And I've got baby squash over on this one. So I am pleased with that. The onions are looking good. Most of the roses, we've had some pretty strong wind. Most of the roses have fallen, the petals have fallen off, but the ones that opened last are still there. So I see 1, 2, 4, I see 5 that are still pretty and big. But usually it produces again. It does that normally twice a year. So we'll see how it turns out. I'd say the onions are doing well, but that one's laid over, but some of them are getting pretty big down there on their base. And the early peas are doing really well. It's got some blooms on quite a few of them. I've tried to bring them up through the tomato cages. So all the tomatoes look to be doing okay. I have not seen anything come up in this grow bag yet. This is one we replanted with a seed. I only put 1 seed in the hole. There's a little bitty tiny one right here. So that one's finally popped up. And I believe there's a tiny one over here, but I may be wrong. I'm not seeing it now, so maybe not. But I'm pretty sure they'll pop up in the next day or so. All right, and the biggest thing we finally got done is this propane tank. My propane guy told me I needed to paint the tank, so I had to lift the tank in order to be able to sand under the bottom and get the surface rust off. and then paint it and then lower it back down. And I know the blocks aren't level, but it's holding the tank. All 4 feet have pressure on it, and the tank don't rock. It's not perfectly level, but it's doing its job. And I didn't want the block sticking out past the feet because mower deck or something might hit it. So we got it done finally. It's painted all the way, bottom, sides, everything. And you see it's dirty on top, but it was a job. My arms are sore from all the sanding I've done on that thing, but it needed to be done. And now at least I don't have to worry about it for another 4 or 5 years minimum. So I'm proud that thing's done. It looks pretty good, and maybe they'll put more in it next time I call them to come put gas in it. They only went up to like 55, 60, I think 60%, maybe 65. But I think 60% last time I asked for them to come fill it. And maybe they'll go on back up to that 85, 90% that they used to. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. But I got a few other little projects done. I changed out that floodlight fixture because the one that was there didn't come on most of the time. And when it did come on, there'd be nothing here reason for it to be on. And it was a Brinks. It come from Lowe's. That's also a Brinks that came from Lowe's. That one works pretty good for now. And then this one was a Brinks, also from Lowe's. And it would come on like now, just because it's overcast and the sun's not shining. If I walked in front of it, that floodlight would come on. And there's no need for a floodlight to come on during the day. And y'all know I'm in the process of getting completely off grid, and I don't want to use power if I don't have to. So I had to change that one out, and we've tested them last night. They all it actually picks up further away than the other ones did, and it didn't come on when the cat walked by or whatever. So I was pleased with that, and that's one of the ones we sell at work. And I put one under here, which I already had, but this one works really well as well, and it doesn't come on even though it's under the shelter and in the shade. See, I'm walking in here, it doesn't come on during the daylight. Those Brinks ones would. So I'm pleased with that. I've got a couple more to put up. I want to put one on the back of the house and one on the other side of the house, and pretty much you get within 100 feet of the house 75 feet, something like that, it lights everything up. So anywho, y'all see Louie's laying up there by his water dish. I leave that faucet with a very slow drip to keep his dish full of water. Even though I've caught him drinking out of the rain barrels back there, he always has fresh water there. So anywho, that's about it, guys. I appreciate y'all following along, all the comments, and thumbs up. All that helps a lot. You know, share the channel out if you get the opportunity. That if you're watching the videos like this, maybe some of your friends and people you're friends with on social media will want to as well. So I would appreciate that. Help me grow the channel. So thank y'all very much for subscribing and following along. I do appreciate it once again. Remember what I've always told you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.